Good morning, students. How are you today? Myself, Vaibhav Verma. I am conducting your F&B service practical. Now, today's class, we're going to discuss familiarization of restaurant equipment. Now, equipments, they play a major role while we are working in a restaurant. When a guest enters the restaurant, he looks at the atmosphere and it is his first impression. So right selection of equipment, decor, and you say cutlery, crockery, plays a very important part in the running of a restaurant. So today we are going to discuss various types of equipments which are used in restaurant. Now first we are going to discuss today is called tableware. Tableware. Now tableware is actually a term which is used for the equipments which are used on the table for consumption of food by the guest. Now tableware can be classified into three things. First is flatware, second is cutlery, and third is hollowware. Now flatware consists of spoons and forks which are used in restaurant. Cutlery basically includes the things which are used for cutting of the food while guest is having his food. And last is hollowware, that includes everything apart from the flatware and the cutlery which are hollow from inside and which are used for service. Let me give you an example of it. Let's say teapot, coffee pot, sugar pot, etc. Now we are going to discuss every cutlery, crockery which is used in restaurant. So we're going to start, first of all, we're going to start with the knives. Basically, there are various kinds of knives. So first I'm going to show you guys is a fish knife. Now fish knife is a unique knife. It is used for eating of fish. Now how you would differentiate between a fish knife and a normal knife? It is very simple. Fish knife has a cut on the back of the knife. There is an edge, you could see the edge, and at the back of the knife there is a cut. Now this cut is actually used while we consuming the fish to take out the small bones and get the meat out of. So it's a very specialized kind of equipment which is used by the guest. Now with fish knife, we will always have a fish fork. They are like husband and wife, पति पत्नी है ये लोग, ये दोनों हमेशा टेबल पे साथ जाते हैं. तो fish knife, fish fork, अब इस fork के अंदर भी you could see there is an edge. So fish knife and fish fork. Okay guys, I'm going to move on next. I'm going to keep this on. Oh, I will keep this underneath so that you shouldn't do the confusion. So I'm going to start. The next knife I'm going to show is a dinner knife. Dinner knife, or you could say is a joint knife, which is used for consumption of meat dishes. Again, as I've told you, husband and wife, there is a fork with it which goes together. So dinner knife and dinner fork. These are the tallest knife and fork which are used on the table. Next, we're going to use is called butter knife. Now, butter knife is different from fish knife and dinner knife because the edge of the butter knife is very minimum. Because bread, we don't cut the bread actually. This knife plays the role of spreading the butter. Now, bread का क्या होता है? Usually, you would see कि bread rolls serve होते हैं. When we are serving a French cuisine, we are serving bread rolls with it. Now, it's a dining etiquette. You never cut the bread. You always break the bread. You open the bread roll, you take the butter and you spread it. So this is a butter knife. Next equipment, which is actually used by the server, which will be required by you guys while you are serving the food. Let's say silver service, English service. That is called a service gear. That is service spoon and service fork. They always work together. These are this service spoon and service fork. Now this you have to hold in one hand which would be taught to you guys. The fork can turn around. For big meat dishes, sometimes you'll have to turn the fork and pick it up like this. Sometimes for the noodles, or you could say Indian gravies, you'll have to put the fork like this so you get more volume. For the rice, you'll have to do something like this. So this would be trained how to use in whole hand. This is very important. Like I've told you guys, na, कि 5 things the waiter should carry. I say 6 is the 6th thing. 5 क्या था, if you could remember? Notepad, tick-tock pen, bottle opener, lighter, waiter's cloth, and 6th I would say service gear. It plays an important part while we're doing the service. Now I'm going to show you a few more things. This one is called AP spoon or a tablespoon, which is used for consumption of any gravy items or sauces which are used or being served you guys in the restaurant. Next is, very easily you could tell what it is. Yes, you are right. This is soup spoon. We use this spoon for consumption of soup while we are in the restaurant. Bilkul round shape, it has got more volume, so that is very easily you can pick up more soup while you are having a food. Now next is two equipments, again together, almost same size. These are desert spoon and desert fork. You call it desert cutlery. When a guest is having a dessert, he will use a desert spoon and desert fork. Now the difference of size between AP spoon, that is tablespoon, is just a little bit. You could see the AP spoon is just a bit taller and broader as compared to desert spoon. Now the next spoon I'm going to show you, very simple to tell what it is. Yes, you are right, it is teaspoon. While we are serving a tea to the guest, we give this teaspoon to the guest for helping himself. Thank you. Next is a smaller spoon than a teaspoon. If you have a look, this spoon is a bit smaller. This is coffee spoon. Coffee spoon. Our next spoon, you see, is a tall spoon. What could be the use of this spoon? We never place this spoon on the table. When we are serving a specialized dish, then we give this spoon. जैसे कि we are giving cold coffee with ice cream, or we are serving parfait, or we are serving a Sunday dessert. So this spoon name is parfait spoon or a Sunday spoon. Parfait spoon or Sunday spoon. Please remember, parfait spoon or Sunday spoon. Now these were the things which I am now going to show you. A few more forks are left. This one little smaller. This fork is little smaller than a desert fork, and this fork is smaller than a desert fork. The name of this fork is fruit fork. Just a bit smaller than a desert fork. And this again a special kind of fork. If you could see, there are 3 and there is an edge. There's just like an edge. There's like a knife. Now this is a pastry fork. What we do, we turn it around, we cut the pastry, we take it. This concept is basically not used in fine dining restaurant, but moreover this is used in a fast food restaurant or the American fast food restaurants. This is a pastry fork. Now another thing which we have is mixture of spoon, fork and a knife. Now this was introduced in America in the culture of food trucks. When the people are taking food from the food truck, now they are standing and they are having, so they require a kind of cutlery which they can use for cutting, for swirling, for eating. So this was introduced. This is called spoke. S-P-O-R-K, spoke. Spoke पे क्या है बेटा? यहाँ पे you could see there is a knife edge. You could see there is fork. So you can cut. If you have noodles, you can turn around. If you want to use like a spoon. So it's 3 in 1. It is called spoke. Now another equipment is, you could see this. Everybody would have seen it. बहुत simple है. Salt है sir, pepper है sir. इन दोनों को साथ रखते हैं तो we call it a cruet set. Cruel नहीं, cruet. C-R-U-E-T. Cruet set. मेरे मुंह से cruel इसमें निकल रहा है because I have मेरे time के अंदर when I have been teaching for so many years, I have seen students saying it cruel set. So don't call it cruel set, call it cruet set. Now cruet set, you could see one has more holes, one has single holes. The thing is, the single hole will always have a salt and more holes will always have a pepper. Now why is that? Because logic है, simple logic है. If you are using cruet set and too much salt gets into food, the food can get spoiled. You won't be able to eat it. But on the other hand, अगर थोड़ा सा pepper ज़्यादा भी हो जाए, so you don't have to worry. You can still manage with it. Together they are called cruet set. Now what happens, like in a rainy season, the salt can get moisture, can catch moisture. So to avoid that, what we do, you think what we do? You know? Okay, I'm going to tell you. What we do, we put some uncooked rice in the salt because salt will absorb the moisture. Not the salt. The rice will absorb the moisture from the salt and it will be a free flow salt. So that is cruet set. This one. देखिए क्या लगता है? No, this is not dentist class. It is a filmy service class. This is basically nutcracker. Nutcracker. The biggest of the knife. You have two edges and a big edge. This is cheese knife. When we are serving cheese to the guest, usually in a 17-course menu, we have a course called fromage. That is a French name of cheese. We use this cheese knife. We cut the cheese and we turn around, pick up the cheese and put it on a plate and we eat it. That is cheese knife. And this one, it is snail tongue. Snail is like a seafood. Yeah, snail is like a seafood. So we use this snail tongue for consumption of snails. So we also have this thing. देखिए क्या लगता है क्या होगा ये? You have few holes. Some people say, see, over these I have heard some people, some students say, so we hold plates in it. Dinner plate रख देंगे sir, BNP रख देंगे sir. But actually no, this is the equipment which is used in the breakfast. We call it as a toast rack. Toast rack. The bread slices are toasted and the toaster are put in like this and we place this in the table so guests can help themselves and they can have a toast. We have discussed flatware and cutlery. Now I'm going to discuss the hollowware or a special equipments which are used in a restaurant. First, I'm going to show you this. Simple to tell. It's a napkin holder, paper napkin holder, which is used in restaurant. See, in a fine dining restaurant, we usually don't use napkins. We use cloth napkin. But no, as all of you know, due to this pandemic, COVID-19, and the rules laid by WHO, it has been advised not to use cloth napkin. So all the hotels, 5-star hotels, even the restaurant, fine dining restaurants, now using the paper napkin. The next thing we have for today is bread basket. We can use it for Indian breads, we can use for continental breads as well. The next equipment which we have in front of me is called butter dish. Now butter dish, usually we serve butter while we are serving a bread or in the breakfast. We serve chiplets of the bread. Now this butter dish has 3 parts. I'm going to show you 3 parts. The first is the cover, very easily. Secondly, you could see we have 2 another parts. This is like you have a strainer and this is the underneath of the strainer. Now strainer, we put the butter on the top of the strainer. Now usually my students in a offline class, they ask me, sir, why 3 parts? Why not only this? Why not only this? The thing is, when we are serving butter to the guest, we cannot serve it hard butter or a melted butter to the guest. Need to serve the butter which is easily spreadable. So in summertime, when this weather is hot and we know the butter is going to melt, we put ice cubes underneath this butter dish and we put the strainer on the top. And in a winter time, we put hot water and we put the butter dish, and this could be covered like this. And this is a butter spreader. Now guest can pick up the butter like this, take to his plate, put it there. Then he can use the butter knife for spreading. So this is the butter dish. It goes like this. And this is the underliner of the butter dish. Next, I'm going to come very simple toothpick holder. Now thing with toothpick holder is you never place the toothpick holder straight on the table. You should always have an underliner or a plate, you could say a saucer, on like this, and you always place it like this on the table. Never ever place like this on the table. Yes, I am showing you equipments and it's a bar top. That's why I put it like this, just you guys to show it. Next thing I have is a straw holder. It is used for holding of straws. Again, similar goes with it. We never place it on the table straight away. Now this is entree dish. Entree. E-N-T-R-E-E. Entree. You're going to study your French classical menu. You will know there is a course called entree. So this is an entree dish which we use. It is basically when we are doing a silver service, the food comes from the kitchen in these dishes and we serve to the guest from the left hand side using the service gear. Service gear kya tha? You remember? Yes, service spoon and service fork. Now this is flat rice platter. Now I'm going to move just a bit side so you guys could see. This is teapot, coffee pot, milk pot or a creamer, sugar pot with sugar inside and the sugar tongue along with it, water jug. What is this? नहीं, अलादीन का चिराग नहीं है. This is not अलादीन का चिराग. जब भी पूछता हूँ यही आंसर मिलता है मुझे. Over the years अलादीन का चिराग नहीं. It is not अलादीन का चिराग. It is actually called sauce boat, or you call it sauce pot. Now when we are serving a French menu or a continental menu, sometimes we have gravies and sauces which go along with the food, but the chef wants the sauce or gravy to be poured in front of the guest. So we serve the food and the top we pour the gravy and the sauce. So this is called sauce boat or sauce pot. So thank you guys. I hope you liked my video. Thank you.